feeling stuck is a signal. Being stuck is one of the most universal feelings of the human experience.
You can get trapped spinning what-if thoughts all the time. You're convinced that you're not good enough. You're convinced that it's too late. You're convinced that other people are going to judge you. And I'm here to tell you it's total baloney. You can have nothing and you can still have your own back. You can have tremendous problems and very real obstacles that you're facing. And you can have a mindset that says, through my efforts, my attitude, I can have an impact on the situation that I'm in. I wanted to talk to you about a mindset trick, okay? For those of you that don't know me, I struggled with anxiety for literally 30 years. And so do our 3 children. They've all struggled with anxiety at various moments. And my daughter used to have this word for it. It's called the what-if loop. That when you get trapped in your mind, you start thinking about what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this goes wrong? What if I fail and somebody critiques me? What if this person judges me? What if that happens? What if they say this and I don't know what to say? What if my friends judge me? What if they think I'm weird? What if they think I'm silly? You can get trapped spinning what if thoughts all the time, okay? And so I want to give you a super simple trick that you can use to interrupt the what-if loop. And it comes from both the research that I've done about having a high-five attitude and empowering and encouraging yourself. And the reason why having a high-five attitude is so important is because when you believe in yourself and your ability to face anything, when you believe in your ability through your attitude and your actions to have a positive impact on anything that you're dealing with in life, that's the secret to success. It doesn't remove the obstacles. It doesn't change the circumstances that you're dealing with. It changes you and your ability to face those circumstances and tap into the resilience and the courage and the confidence and the strength that is in you that is waiting to help you. That's what a high-five attitude is. It's realistic optimism. Oh, gosh, okay, there's a gentleman walking in front of our car. Okay. So I was talking with Jenny, who's got her camera aimed at me. Jenny Maloney, if you need a phenomenal photographer. Hussein, who is my favorite person, sorry, Tev, to drive. And our COO and my fabulous sister-in-law, Christine. So we were sitting here talking. Jenny literally decided 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, about a month ago.
About a month ago, that where she was living was sucking her soul dry.
Mm-hmm.
She'd been thinking about it and thinking about it. How many of you have been thinking about, is this the right place for me to live? Should I move? Should I try somewhere new? Even if it's just like, I don't like this apartment or this neighborhood or my roommates. Have you experienced this? I have been experiencing this for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Every time I would take off and land in a new city, I would allow my mind to wander. Could I live here? Could I live here? Mm-hmm. Is it Austin, Texas? Is it San Diego? Is it Nashville? Mm-hmm. You know, is it Portland, Maine? I even considered Portland, Maine.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. So she literally decided 4 weeks ago to honor that feeling inside of her. And the second that you started honoring that feeling, like, maybe I should move, even though my family lives here, even though people are going to be upset, maybe we need a change. When you feel depleted, when you feel like every morning you wake up and you don't want to high-five your life, that's a f***ing signal. That means you got to dig deep and figure out what you really want. And you got to do some soul searching, and you got to find your strength and your courage to face and be honest with yourself about what's not working and make a change. So that's exactly what Jenny did. But when you start to get honest with yourself that you're not happy with your life, any aspect of it, you don't want to high-five that relationship. You don't want to high-five your friend group. You don't want to high-five where you live. You don't want to high-five that job. That's when the storm kicks in your mind. Because then you go, well, what if I'm wrong? And what if I don't have new friends? And what if it doesn't work? And what if this? And what if that? And what if the other thing? What if I don't sell my house? What if my kids don't like the new school? What are some other things that you had about it?
What if I don't find somewhere to live? What if my house doesn't sell? What if I'm making a big mistake?
Yeah,
You know,
what if I'm making a big mistake?
And I was terrified.
Terrified.
And I thought that was my gut trying to tell me something, but no, any big change is freaking terrifying.
Yes, terrifying. Just expect that, okay? So if you don't high five your life right now, that's all the sign that you need to change. Then your mind is going to kick into what if mode to keep you paralyzed where you are, because your mind does not want you to change. It thinks change is scary. This is where you're going to use this little high five attitude flip. And I'm going to let Jenny tell it to you. What is the flip? Just tell them what that flip is. Instead of going, what if this is a mistake? What if this goes wrong? What if it doesn't work out? What do you say instead?
What if everything does work out?
What if everything works out?
I know it's so simple, but it's so profound.
What? Can you imagine if you went through life thinking, what if it works out for me? What if I make this big change and I actually love my new life? What if I start exercising and I love it? What if I decide to move and it all works out for me? What if I start this side business and it works out? Imagine placing a bet on yourself. That is how you have a high five attitude. You place a bet on yourself, on your dreams, on what you want, and it can be as simple as swatting away that bullshit. What if it fails? What if it doesn't work? What if my friends judge me? What if I'm unhappy? Look, there are very few things that are, I know, I'm really red. It's because I'm sort of having a hot flash right now. I keep it very real. There's no filter that I can have. I'm 53 years old. This is the kind of that happens to me. But what if, all those what ifs, you don't know if they're true or not. Are they serving you? What if it doesn't work? What if that? What if the other thing? What if, ooh, scaredy cat, paralyzed? Do you like that? How about you flip it? How about you get a high five attitude on? What if it all works out for me? What if it's hard in the beginning? And then a month from now, I look up and go, holy shit, this was the best decision I ever made. What if quitting your job is the scariest thing, but it all works out for you? What if ending that toxic relationship makes you feel scared and you dread being alone again? But what if 2 months from now, when you invest in building back a relationship with yourself, you can look in the mirror and you go, wow, it's all working out for me. That was exactly what needed to happen. What if the heartbreak that you're dealing with or the pain that you're dealing with, what if it's all just a dot on the map of your life connecting you to something amazing? What if it's preparing you for something? What if it all works out for you? You know, betting against yourself makes you feel miserable. Staying in situations that you don't want to high five, that make you feel depleted, it's the reason why you're not happy and fulfilled. I want you to start putting a bet on you, on your intuition, on your happiness, on what your heart and soul are screaming at you to do. If you can't high five every aspect of your life, I want you to stand in front of that mirror and start to get honest with yourself. I want you to get a piece of paper out and put a pen in your hand and start writing down, what the do you want? What does a high five life look like to you? And you know what's interesting about using the term a high five life? You know exactly what that means. I don't even have to explain it. It's a life where every day, even on the hard days, you still want to wake up and high five what's happening. You're still waking up surrounded by people and playing a game that's worth playing to you. It's personal to you. And I'm here to tell you, you start to develop the daily habits of encouraging yourself. What if it all works out? What if this is actually the best decision I've ever made? What if it's really difficult and going through this is going to make me a better version of myself? What if 6 months from now, after I make this change, I'm going to look in the mirror and it's not that you're not going to recognize yourself. You ready? You're actually going to recognize yourself. The you that's in there, the one that you're ignoring and criticizing. What if it all works out for you? That's my message for you today. I want you to take on that high five attitude. What if it all works out for you? I'm sitting here high-fiving you every step of the way because I believe that something amazing is happening in your life. I sense something extraordinary is about to happen for you. And when you start to leverage a high five attitude, what if it works out? what if this is the best decision I've ever made? A really difficult one. What if this is the best decision I've ever made? You know, I love to say that you're one decision away from a different life. So make the decision away to swat away those negative thoughts and bring up that high five attitude. What if it all works out for me? Believe. Anchor down in hope and optimism and faith and in celebration of yourself and your ability to pivot your life anytime you choose. That's what's available to you. The second you decide to just get that negative shit out of your mind and adopt that high five attitude, because I do believe that I sense something incredible, extraordinary is going to happen for you. But first, you got to start to say, what if it works out for me? What if this is the best decision I've ever made? What if I place a bet on myself for a change? Wouldn't that be cool? I think it would be. So feeling stuck is normal. In fact, there are going to be multiple times throughout your life that you feel stuck. And what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to think that feeling stuck is a bad thing. I want you to change how you think about the experience of feeling stuck. So let me explain something about the way that your body and your mind work together. Your body and your mind are obviously in sync with one another, and your body is designed as a sophisticated system to be able to send signals to your mind when there are fundamental needs that are not being met. So let me explain some of these signals that your body sends every single day that you pay attention to and that you respond to whenever you feel these signals. So one, Oakley, yes.
Okay, so someone just commented, so you can go through 1 to 25 mindset reset on your own.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can. So there was a question that was asked, you can go through 1 through 25, the videos on your own. Absolutely. They're all on Facebook, or we have created a very handy playlist on our YouTube channel, Mel Robbins Live on YouTube. Very, very handy playlist for Mindset Reset. And you can do these at your own pace. You can do these whenever you want. And what we're teaching you in Mindset Reset is all of the killer cool, simple science around how you think, around the patterns that get encoded in your brain, about your default network in your mind and how that got programmed a long time ago, the power of learning how to be deliberate in how you think and how to redirect from thinking something negative to thinking something positive, how to use anchor thoughts. We spent a bunch of time, the morning routine and journaling, because there's a huge connection between what you do first thing in the morning and your morning routine and your mindset and focus all day long. Lots of science around that. I rolled out my journaling method, which you can check out at 5secondjournal.com. And there's free downloads there. You don't need to buy anything. All the science around why I journal the way that I do and how that impacts my mindset and the science that proves it. And then we did anxiety training and all kinds of topics on anxiety from video 13 all the way up until the 20s. And these last couple of videos, we've just been doing really simple little mental tricks. Yesterday was do it anyway. The day before was about the habit of complaining. And today, what we're going to talk about is the feeling of being stuck and the fact that your body sends you signals all day long because it's trying to tell you that it has needs that are not being met. So let me tell you some of those signals. When you need food, what signal does your body send you? You feel hungry. Feeling hungry is a signal. It's a signal from your body that you need to do something. You need to eat. You want to know another signal? Feeling thirsty. Feeling thirsty is a signal from your body that you need water, you need hydration, and you need to drink. Feeling lonely. Feeling lonely is a signal. And that is a signal that you need to connect with people. That's a fundamental need. Feeling cold, feeling wet, feeling nervous as you see a big thunderstorm rolling in. You know what those are signals for? That you need shelter, that you need clothing, that you need warmth, that you need to protect yourself. So all day long, oh, what about another one? Feeling tired. What does that mean that you need? It's fundamental, one of your fundamental needs. It means you need sleep. Feeling stuck works the exact same way. It's a signal from your soul, from your heart. And what the signal means is that you need growth. You see, growth is one of the most fundamental needs of all human beings. So when you have stopped growing in your job, or you've stopped growing in your life, or you've stopped growing in your relationships, you're going to start to feel stuck. So how do you satisfy the need for growth? Here's what you do. You basically ask yourself, what am I curious about? What is it that I could do that would expand my relationship? What is it that I could do that would expand my career? What is it that I could do that would expand my mind and my life? You can sign up for a class. You could sign up for a date night in your relationship, or read a book about relationships in order to help you figure out how to grow it. You could go to your job or your boss and ask for more interesting projects to work on. You could volunteer for things to work on that expand you. All that feeling stuck means is that a fundamental thing that's required for you to be a healthy and happy human being is missing. And it's not food, it's not water, it's not shelter, it's not sleep. It is the need for growth. So if you feel stuck, the last thing I want you to do is to start thinking about how stuck you are, because signals in your body are signaling you to take action. And so if you feel stuck, what I want you to do is I want you to see that as a signal that you've stopped growing, and it's time to be deliberate about finding ways to grow. So sign up for something, start listening to podcasts, meet new people, go to therapy, learn more about yourself, take an online course, read a book, take dancing, do something that's going to help you grow.
Most of you have probably taken your basic Psych 101 class and you've bumped into Andrew Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Well, your body is kind of cool because you have these basic needs. And your body is wired to send you signals. If you are hungry, if you need food, what do you feel? If you need water, what do you feel? If you need sex, what do you feel? Thank you. I think when you feel stuck or dissatisfied in your life, it's a signal. And it's not a signal that your life is broken. It's a signal that one of your most basic needs are not being met. Your need for exploration. Everything about your life, about your body, grows. Your cells regenerate, your hair, your nails, everything grows for your entire life. And your soul needs exploration and growth. And the only way you'll get it is by forcing yourself to be uncomfortable. Forcing yourself to get outside, out of your head. Thank you. If you're in your head, you're behind enemy lines. That is not God talking, okay? It's not. In fact, if I put a speaker on it and we broadcast what you say to yourself, we would institutionalize you. You would not hang out with people that talk to you the way you talk to yourself. So get out of your head. Your feelings are screwing you. I don't care how you feel. I care about what you want. And if you listen to how you feel when it comes to what you want, you will not get it. Because you will never feel like it. And you need to get outside your comfort zone. It's not about taking risks, it's about getting outside your comfort zone. Those first 3 seconds when you push yourself out of bed, they blow. But once you're up, it's great. Those first 3 seconds when you're sitting here in a studio or a stadium like this and somebody says, get up and come dance, and you think, oh, I should do that. And then you're like, oh. That experience that you had where you had the impulse to do it, and then you didn't do the activation energy required to force yourself, your emergency brake got pulled. I'm sitting right here. I'm not going up with those crazy people. I don't like to dance. I don't. Well, what happened for me is I came up and I bumped into Rachel, and then we started talking, and next thing you know, she's tweeting. And we're friends, and boom, get outside. That's where the magic is. That's where the 1 in 400 trillion exists.
Being stuck is one of the most universal feelings of the human experience, and nobody understands what it is.
What is it?
Oh, it's amazing when you hear this. It's like, pew. So remember how we've talked about how the human beings have this crazy amount of natural intelligence wired into us. And inside your body, we've talked about one of the signals, anxiety. Anxiety is a signal that means pay attention. That's why you go into fight or flight. You're in an alert mode, okay? That's all it is. It's a signal, an alarm system. And your body has a sophisticated system of signals and alarms. And they're all tied to fundamental needs. Anxiety is tied to your fundamental need for safety. That's why it's a signal. Let's talk about your most important fundamental needs. Let's go right back to Psychology 101, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You need food or else you die. So when you need food, what is the signal that your body sends you?
Hunger.
When you need water, what is the signal?
Thirst.
When you need air, you catching your breath. When you need rest, what do you feel?
I'm tired.
When you need connection, what do you feel?
Lonely.
Human beings are designed to grow. When you stop growing, what do you feel? Stuck.
Yeah. I was going to say stagnant, but I guess stuck is, yeah.
Or stagnant.
Yeah.
Or still.
Trapped, I guess, is, yeah.
Yeah. Feeling stuck is a signal that you've stopped growing. That's it. And when most people feel stuck, since they don't understand that it's tied to a fundamental need for growth, we believe it's an existential crisis and we blow up our lives. For most human beings, what actually will get you feeling like you're not stuck is having something in the future that you're looking forward to. Or taking a class where you're learning something, or changing a routine so that you try a new class at the gym. Learning anything gets you back in touch with a fundamental need. It makes you start to feel like things are moving. And from that place of feeling a little bit more empowered, you'll be able to make better decisions about what big things need to change in your life.
And is that, you would also describe that as a moment where your life has like an absence of purpose? I think about various examples, Olympians that come back from the Olympics and they're like 80% chance of depression after they've, you know, and then I think about people who have, lost purpose in their lives for whatever reason, been fired from their jobs or whatever, or people that are in jobs that are, absent of purpose completely, that feeling of being stuck. And then we talked also about the importance of goals and ambitions going forward. When humans don't have that forward ambition or that thing to look forward to in the future, and their current situation lacks purpose, they become very psychologically disorientated, would be the way I'd describe it.
I have a different take on purpose. I think everybody's purpose is exactly the same.
What is that?
I think your purpose is to share your true self, to be fully seen. And for the Olympian, when you are training and you're in that arena, that is an experience of being seen. And for most people that are lacking purpose, they feel profoundly invisible. And being seen fundamentally comes back to whether or not you even see yourself. And when you start to feel empowered and you start to see yourself and meet you where you are, what happens is every day that you're able to stand with yourself, to accept where you are, to give yourself the compassion, to give yourself the support and the love and the respect and the worthiness that you deserve, you're going to go out into the world and share more of yourself. That Olympic athlete is sharing more of themselves. And so I think our purpose in life is to come back home to ourselves, to reconnect with ourselves, and to empower ourselves to go back out into the world and share our stories and share our experiences and share our full selves with the rest of the world.
From a prehistoric standpoint, let's say we're, because I always try and like check things against the caveman of my, my ancestral beings. The idea of being seen when I was, my ancestors 10,000 years ago, what kind of role does that play in from a survival perspective, let's say?
Well, I mean, I'm freestyling here, so
Okay.
My suspicion is if you were not within your mom's eye view, your ass was going to get eaten.
This item on your checklist, it will store the checklist in your subconscious. It's encoded in your RAS, and your mind is now on the alert to spot things related to it. The way that you make yourself feel like something is important is your nervous system goes on alert while you're thinking about it. You're either super excited about something, oh, this is super important, or this is the trauma effect. You go on alert and you have something really bad happen, which is why things continue to bring it up throughout the rest of your life. So when you understand that if something's important to you, your filter will change in real time how you see the fucking world. You now know how to change your brain to work for you. And looking for hearts is the way I'm going to prove to you that this happens. I want to give you one other example because everybody's experienced this. If you've ever gone shopping for a new car or you've dreamt about having a new car, what happens immediately when you get excited about that new car is your mind goes, Zygon effect, oops, okay, Tom wants the new Bronco. That's cool. So what do you see now? You see Broncos everywhere. Now, they were always there, but your mind is letting them in because the Zygon effect is now made it on a checklist. It's changed the RAS. And so I am going to prove to you that it is unbelievably cool that you can change the way that you view the world by looking for heart-shaped objects. So tomorrow when you wake up, you're going to start your day by high-fiving yourself in the mirror. I want you to examine what the resistance about because you're going to start to then be able to unpack what's holding you back. Then you're going to go out in the world and just like tell your mind, I want to see a heart today. Look for a rock, look for a leaf, look in your like latte. Is there a little shape there? Is there an oil stain on the floor? And when you see one, stop and go, shit, like there's a scavenger hunt. I never would have seen that before. Thank you, brain. Now your brain's like, woo, more hearts. You will start to see hearts everywhere. And when you can start to train your brain and realize, whoa, this is actually a cool thing. This is high-fiving your mind. When you can see hearts, you can now go, wait a minute. If I can change what I see based on what I tell it, maybe if I got serious about not constantly saying I'm a failure, I wouldn't attach that or see it everywhere. Maybe if I got serious about saying I can figure anything out, this is happening for a reason, instead of I'm fucked. You say, okay, I'm going to learn something with this. It changes the way your brain filters everything. And this is such an important piece to the book because we've all had the experience where you love somebody deeply and you see all their incredible attributes and all they see is failure, or all they see is the weight that they can't lose. And it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what kind of pep talk or support you give them. Your loved one still only sees what they hate about themselves. Blame the filter in your brain. You have been bitching about your appearance or the weight on your scale, the fact that you're a failure for so long, your brain believes it's important to you to see reasons why this is true. And one of the things I got to say about this, and everything in the book, is the tools are simple, Tom. But it's super important to say, just because you change and start celebrating yourself, it's not going to make the weight disappear suddenly. It doesn't change the number on the scale overnight. What it changes is you. And that changes your ability to deal with the problems and the issues you want to change in your life.
You have some really counterintuitive ideas, bold stances on things, which I found incredibly interesting. One of them is jealousy. and that not to just reject that stuff offhand, but that there's actually information carried in those strong emotions.
Jealousy is one of the most powerful directional signals on the planet, because you're only jealous of people that are doing things or have things that you actually want. It's impossible to be fake jealous. Whatever you're jealous of is hitting something deeply personal. Fucking pay attention to it. Instead of stewing in it, go, oh, flip it. That's interesting. I wonder why I'm jealous. What is it about it? Oh, it's that they're doing it consistently. It's that they've built a team. It's that they've aligned their work together so that they're spending more time together. How could I take those things that I'm really now really inspired by and take action and go get them in my life? Because the thing about jealousy is it's just your inspiration that's blocked. Jealousy is sort of the insecurity that you have that blocks this inspiration. I guarantee you, back to the Uber driver, he's jealous of all the other actors earning Oscars because he's so inspired by the thought of doing that in his own life, but his insecurity is blocking action. His fear is blocking action. So instead of it being inspiration, it shows up as jealousy. And I'm here to tell you, the second you feel jealousy, frickin' whoop, stop. Okay, let's unpack that. What exactly is it about it? And now, if I were inspired by it, because there's enough success to go around for everybody, if I can use that as a roadmap to then go figure out how I might be able to do that for myself, wow, talk about a game changer. And now let's add in the high five. What if every time I took a little step, I celebrated myself for just doing it? Now you're building small wins and momentum in a direction that's meant for you. That's how you change your life.
Yeah, that to me, getting people to understand that the idea that there's enough success for anybody, it doesn't matter if you're copying somebody for no reason other than the only thing that matters in life is, are you having fun? Is this a joyful life? Are you working hard at something that matters to you?
Yeah.
And whether or not it's even a carbon copy of somebody else, if you're having a ball, you've already won.
Totally.
And getting people to recognize, like, and this is why I like your answer around, at some point you just have to accept you're high-fiving yourself in the mirror because the neurochemistry says that that's what you need to do. Getting people to understand neurochemistry is the game.
Yeah.
And once you understand the game that you're playing, then you can play it well. But if you don't understand the game, then you're going to get stuck and you're going to be stuck forever. And you talk a lot about taking responsibility for that, recognizing nobody's coming to save you. It's something you said in the book. It's something that you've said in interviews. It's something that I absolutely think is really powerful. How do we use that? Why is that important to recognize?
Well, it's important to recognize because, first of all, nobody is coming. I mean, if you've been sitting around waiting for somebody to discover you, to pick you, to save you, to rescue you, to give you your shot, it's not fucking happening. Like, at some point, you got to wake up and realize when you're 18 and you're out of that house, you have to parent yourself. Your life is your responsibility. And as a woman, one of the things that I found to be extraordinarily transformational is when I stopped, in a very traditional sense, looking to my partner to be responsible for providing for me. Providing financially, providing the support, providing. When I realized, wait a minute, it starts with me. I have to be able to figure out how to make myself happy. That's, by the way, the secret to a happy relationship. Marry somebody who's happy and work on your own happiness.
Preach.
And so when you stop outsourcing your happiness, your validation, your support, all of it, and you bring it back in and you get responsible for it, it sounds scary. It's so liberating because you could do anything. When you're responsible, when you're the driver of your life, when you're not looking out to anybody else to fix it for you, can you ask for help? Of course, but the buck stops with you. You're the one that has to do the work. You're the one who has to push your own ass. You're the one who has to figure out what makes you happy. You're the one who has to figure out and become self-aware about what you need. And then you're the one that has to find whatever it is, the courage or being humble enough to ask for help. even if it's asking for help from the biggest ally that you have, which is the person staring back at you in the mirror every damn morning.
Yeah, I don't know why people aren't more obsessed with their goals. It's like, if my goals demand that I ask for help, then I'm going to ask for help. Like, I'm not even going to let anything else get in the way. I'm just so obsessed with, if my goal is exciting and honorable, then I should actually want to achieve it. And therefore, whatever it is that I need to do.
So, Tom, this is why. And this comes back to what has made me really sad and deeply moved by the kinds of things that people are sharing. Most people aren't obsessed with their goals because they don't believe they're worthy of them. It's easy to dream about what you want, but in between where you are and what you want, there's a tremendous amount of stuff you got to change and do. And if you have a lot of trauma in your background, or you were raised by somebody who beat the shit out of you or told you were a piece of shit, or if you've had to deal with microaggressions or racist, discriminatory, systematic crap your entire life, you have been given the message over and over and over, even though it's not true, that you don't deserve it, that there's something wrong with you. And if you don't, at some point, be defiant against what the world or your caregivers or your past experience has pounded into your brain incorrectly, unfairly, you will forever be stuck with that story. You are not responsible for what happened to you. You survived what happened to you. But you do have a responsibility to heal yourself and to do the work to change so that you can be the happy, fulfilled person that you were born to be.
Yeah, that's really powerful because it's the only thing that works. And, thinking about, so many people have just immense things that have happened that have been unfair. And as you said, they didn't do anything to deserve it. But now what? Now you're there, you've got the trauma, and no one can heal it for you. There's a name for it. I think it's called the pedestrian problem. It's like, imagine that you get hit by a car and the driver was drunk. And let's say that the driver was Bill Gates. And let's say that you win a settlement. But if the damage that happened to your body can't be fixed with all the money in the world, and you just have to do physical therapy, then it's like, even though it is unfair that you have to do the physical therapy, there is no amount of money that you can throw at it that will stop you from having to suffer to build yourself back up. And I think a lot of people either fall prey to trap number one, which is they don't think they're worthy, or they fall prey to trap number two, which is it's so unfair they just don't take action.
Right.
But they're nonetheless in the situation that they're in. And if the whole punchline to life is neurochemistry and feeling joyful and, being excited about who you are when you're by yourself, then it's like, well, you have to do the work, even if it isn't fair. And that to me,
especially if it isn't.
Why
because
especially?
There's two kinds of prisons that you can sentence yourself to or be sentenced to, right? One is all the physical shit you're talking about, the circumstances of your life, the circumstances of your body, the circumstances that are unfair. And then there is the mental prison, and that's the one you're in control of. So people can do all kinds of shit to you, and you can be born into situations that are not fair, they're not safe, they're cruel, it's unfair, you didn't deserve it. But the real power that you always have is how you react to it mentally. I'm not saying put lipstick on a pig and ignore the very real problems you're facing. I'm saying it begins with your mental attitude about your own ability to face it and to survive it and to move past it. That's what I'm saying. Because without that, like, let's go back to the woman in the domestic violence shelter who's had the shit beaten out of her by partners, who has immense emotional trauma stored in her nervous system, stored in the neurochemistry of her brain. She has an extraordinary amount of hurdles to get through in her life to heal, to be safe, to break patterns that are associated with the trauma that she's experienced as a child, the trauma that she experienced in romantic relationships, the physical abuse. She has issues related to poverty. Can a human being survive those things and change? Of course they can. It begins, though, with the belief that you can. And so when I come back to this moment every single morning, you can have nothing and you can still have your own back. You can have tremendous problems and very real obstacles that you're facing. And you can have a mindset that says, through my efforts, my attitude, I can have an impact on the situation that I'm in. That's the power that I have. I can ask for help because I believe I deserve it. I can seek therapy because I believe I should heal because I deserve that. I can seek information from shows like Impact Theory about how to break trauma patterns, about how to regulate my nervous system, because I believe I am worthy of that. When I raise my hand in the mirror, I'm basically saying, fuck off to these people that hurt me because I believe that I deserve better. That's where it begins. It begins with you. Self-confidence, self-love, self-esteem, self-reliance, self-awareness. It all has the same self. You have to give yourself those things. You want validation? Give it to yourself. You want to be cheered for? Give it to yourself. If you want to feel supported in life, start by giving those things to yourself, because the most important relationship that you have is the one you have with yourself, and you work on it the least. It's the foundation of every relationship you have. And so I believe that there are simple things you can do, from looking at hearts, which doesn't solve your problems. It proves to you that it's possible to change the way your brain works. That's why I want you to do it. It's not going to take away poverty. It's not going to make you lose 100 pounds. It's going to prove to you that, shit, you do have power over the way your mind works. And when you get crafty about training your brain, you can do really cool shit. And when your attitude is optimistic, based on research, we know that you will work harder and keep going because you believe that it makes a difference. It begins with these simple things.
It's impossible to not have dreams. See, that's not how dreams work. Let me tell you something about dreams. I believe that you were born with dreams that are preset inside of you, and that those dreams are deeply personal to you, that your dreams are your birthright, and that part of the adventure that life is really, it's like a giant scavenger hunt that's been created for you, where life is giving you all kinds of clues that help you feel the pull of your dreams. And so I'm going to unpack this for you, okay? Because your dreams haven't gone anywhere. You may not, quote, know what your dreams are, but they are inside of you. They are in the back of your mind. You are just so blocked right now that you cannot feel the pull of your dreams trying to draw you toward them. But it's still happening. So I'm going to teach you something today that is going to change your life, because you don't have a choice about this. Those dreams, they're for you. They were been in there since you were born. They're meant for you. They're personal to you. And I can explain this piece about why they're personal to you. So I have a dream of creating like a weekend-long transformational event where literally we fill a stadium. And the energy and the teaching and the things that happen during this weekend retreat, that they are transformational for 10,000 people. That's my dream, okay? When I share that dream with my dad would rather stick a needle in his eye than think about standing on a stage in front of 10,000 people at an event he created. Because that dream is not meant for him. That dream is personal for me. And so when I see other people out there creating events and filling stadiums, I feel deeply jealous, because there's something about what somebody else is doing that reminds me of this dream that I have, this dream that I maybe feel a little blocked on, this dream that maybe I gave up on. Now let me talk about my dad. My dad casually mentioned a couple of years ago that he had always dreamt of hiking the Appalachian Trail from one end to the other. That takes like 6 to 8 months. I can't think of anything worse than hiking the Appalachian Trail from end to end with wet socks and wet underwear and pasty teeth and sleeping in a lean-to and eating out of a can and a can. This sounds like a nightmare. Why? That's not my dream. It's not meant for me. And so your dreams, I'm telling you, they're still in there, whether you can feel them or not. So that's number one. You got to accept the fact that you were born with dreams that are meant for you, and your job is to get unblocked so that you can feel the pull. The fastest way to get unblocked is to follow your jealousy. Now, that may sound like the most screwed up advice from somebody that is trying to help you improve your life, but trust me, jealousy is a super important signal, because jealousy is just blocked inspiration. That's all that it is. You see, you've convinced yourself that your dream isn't possible for you. You've convinced yourself you're not worthy of it. You've convinced yourself you're too old, or you're too young, or you're too this, or you're too that, or you're not good enough or smart enough, or whatever the hell it is. You've convinced yourself that your dream that was meant for you, that you were born with, that's personal to you, that it's not possible. But you still feel jealous of other people. That tells me that your dream is in the back of your mind, and jealousy is your inspiration, only it's blocked by your self-doubt. And so look around and see, who are you jealous of and why? Because there's something in that negative feeling that's an important signal for you. That jealousy is trying to wake your up and make you pay attention, that there's something that somebody else is doing. It could be the relationships that they have. It could be their health. It could be the discipline they have in their life. It could be what they do for a living. It could be their lifestyle. There's something about what that person is doing that's meant for you. Now, you're going to do it your own way, but your problem right now is that you're blocking yourself from even pursuing it. So, rule number one, your dreams never leave you. So accept that as a fact. They've been in there. You're just blocked. Rule number two, to awaken yourself, look around and notice who you're jealous of, and allow yourself to start to follow that jealousy, be pulled toward it, unpack what you're learning about why you're drawn toward what these other people are doing, and start pursuing it and making it your own. That is how you get unstuck. That is how you start to find your dreams. That is how you let the pull of that blocked inspiration that feels like jealousy pull you toward what is meant for you. Those dreams have not left you. You are blocked, and you can change it. And if you are somebody who is struggling to figure out what your passion is in life, this coffee talk is for you. If you have a friend or a son or a daughter or a niece or a nephew who is struggling to figure out what their passion is, they don't know what to do with their life, this coffee talk is for them, and you should absolutely share it with them. So let's talk about passion. Passion is a really interesting topic because most of us have the wrong definition of passion, and for a long time I did too. I get asked all the time, Gina, put a question on Instagram, because on Friday, which was our last live broadcast, we were talking all about energy and about your inner compass. And Gina said, Mel, I'm really struggling to figure out what my purpose is. I have too many talents. How do I find my place in the world? Sorry, I just heard this loud noise, so I didn't know what it is. And I'm in a hotel, so I'm sure people are not happy with the fact that I am doing a live broadcast. So I'm going to keep my voice down just a little bit to be respectful of the people around me. So if you're struggling to find your passion, why don't you give me a thumbs up? Because this broadcast and this live training in Coffee Talk with Mel Robbins is going to give you the tools that you need in order to think about passion differently. And that's the problem. You see, the problem with passion is that you and I have bought into this massive fantasy world where we think that passion is a person or a place or a thing, that somehow, like a needle in a needle in a haystack, that you are somehow just going to stumble into the thing and you're going to find that one person, or you're going to find that one thing that you're meant to do, or you're going to find that career. And honestly, we got to change the way that you think about passion and purpose
before you will actually be able to bring it into your life. Because the truth is, passion isn't in a person, it isn't in a place, and it isn't in a thing. It's something inside of you. And when you flip the definition of what passion is, and when you actually understand what you're looking for, when you say, I want to discover my passion, then you'll be able to create more of it in your life. Okay, so let me give you a new definition of what passion is. You ready? Let me tell you what Gina's actually asking about when she says, I'm struggling to figure out my purpose and my passion. You ready? Here's your new definition of passion. Passion is simply energy. That's all that it is, okay? Passion is what you feel when you are energized and excited about what you're doing, okay? I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to think about a moment in time when you felt incredibly passionate about something, okay? And why don't you in the comments tell me where are you watching from, and tell me about a moment in time when you felt incredibly passionate about what you were doing, about where you were, about the people that you were with. Describe that moment for me, because when you start to really investigate passion as energy, this is what you're going to discover. Those moments when you were super passionate, like I'm sure my kids would write down when they're doing community theater with all their friends. I would write down whenever I'm doing any kind of creative project with my team, I'm incredibly energized. Whenever I'm doing group exercise stuff, climbing a mountain, doing a 5K race, doing some sort of walkathon, I'm incredibly energized by that. Whenever I'm doing some sort of creative project, incredibly energized by that. Whenever I'm working with our video team, incredibly energized by that. Whenever I am coaching someone or giving advice, I am incredibly energized by that. And so what I want you to understand is that if you look back on your life, you have had moments where you have felt passion. Now, I'm being very deliberate in how I'm talking this morning on Coffee Talk because passion is a huge topic for so many of you. And you've been so focused on trying to figure out what job is going to make me passionate. What job is my passion? What is my purpose on the earth? I'm going to tell you what your purpose on earth is right now. Your purpose on earth is to figure out how to align your life so that you feel more energized and excited by it. That's it. And it begins with you following the energy and following your natural enthusiasm. You're not going to think your way to passion. You can't think your way to finding something that you feel in your heart. It doesn't work that way. You got to feel your way into it. It's inside of you. Do you understand? There's no passion out there somewhere. The passion is in here. And so what you have to do first is you've got to stop thinking that you're going to find it somewhere. And you've got to realize that passion is about unlocking something that's already in you. And so here's the thing. So for those of you that have been watching Coffee Talk for a while, or you've read the 5-Second Rule book, or maybe you used the 5-Second Journal, or maybe you took Mindset Reset with us this January, you've probably heard me talk about the fact that inside of you there is power. You have an inner compass, and that inner compass is always guiding you. And learning how to read that inner compass is essential if you want to unlock the passion that's already naturally inside you. Passion, again, isn't a person, place, or thing that you're going to find. It is a state of being that you unlock inside of yourself, and it is there, and you can tap into it right now. So there is an inner compass inside of you that I call an energy gauge. It's an energy gauge that reads the energy in you and around you. And that energy gauge goes from moments when you feel depleted, dead, and empty to moments where on the other side of the gauge, you feel energized, alive, expanded. And so the truth is, your natural state, believe it or not, is to be on the energized, expanded side of the internal compass that's in you. And so you are never really lost. I'm telling you this. I know you may feel lost. I know you may feel defeated. I know you may feel depleted. I know you may feel stuck. These are all temporary states. And one of the fastest ways for you to start to change how you feel about where you are in your life is to tune inward and to start to read the energy. Because if you feel stuck, your natural energy is depleted. If you feel despair, your natural energy is depleted. And the fastest way to start to shift that is to shift the energy inside you and to start to align your life towards things that energize you, okay? Things that excite you. And if you look at your life and you're like, oh my God, I don't know anything that excites me. I don't know anything that energizes me. Don't despair. I have something that you can do today that will help you to start to align your life in small ways towards things that naturally energize you. Many of you know that I'm a huge partner of Audible's, and we have just released a brand new Audible original project called Take Control of Your Life. You don't need to buy it. If you're interested in it, it's called Take Control of Your Life. It's 6 coaching sessions. It's 10 hours long. There's a bazillion takeaways. And in the first coaching session, I talked to a guy named Dan who felt really stuck. He knew what he was passionate about. He didn't know how to follow it. If you don't know what you're passionate about, listening to the session will help you figure it out. But more importantly, your body knows what you're passionate about. Because all you have to do is start asking yourself, do I want to take a class in wine tasting? Do I want to take a class in gardening? Do I want to take a class in video production? Do I want to take a class in painting? Do I want to take a class in accounting? And whatever it is that your body's like, ooh, that sounds cool. That's what naturally energizes you because you reacted positively to it with enthusiasm, with excitement. I also talk about this, by the way, in Amy's session because Amy has no clue what her dream or her passion is, just like you might not have any clue. And so I asked her the questions I'm going to ask you. What energizes and excites you? And when you start to anchor the process of leaning into and opening up the passion inside you by asking yourself questions, what energizes me? What excites me? What are the things in my life that I have always been interested in? Who am I jealous of? What would I do for free? What do I want to learn more about? All these questions are about unlocking your natural curiosity, your natural energy, your natural enthusiasm. If you're in a bookstore, what topics do you naturally gravitate towards? When's the last time you felt energized? What are the things that come so easily to you? Inside of the answers to those questions, by the way, are everything that you need to know about unlocking more of a feeling of energy and excitement. You're not searching out there for it. You're looking for clues internally as to what gets awakened inside of you when you pursue things that energize you. So again, your new definition of passion. Passion is not a person, place, or thing. Passion is the energy that you feel when you're excited, when you're expanded, when you're learning new things. And so you got to stop thinking about it and you've got to start feeling your way into it. One more question for you this morning, Oakley Robbins. 9 days out of 10, you wake up in a good mood.
Okay.
What is the secret to waking up happy?
Good school.
You know what?
If you wake up and you don't really want to go where you're going to go today, of course you're going to be pissed off. Like, what's the point of even getting out of bed? But it's like if you're waking up and you're excited to like go somewhere, you're going to get up. Whenever you're going to like hang out with a friend, like sometimes you tend to wake up earlier and then you like get ready and then you're like, I still have 3 hours and I just like did all this in a span of 30 minutes. Like, what do I do now?
Because you're excited to go see your friend.
Excited around to go see your friend.
Well, I think you just gave everybody one of the biggest secrets about life. Your attitude right now is all a function of the future that's right in front of you. So you already said it. If you're not happy about the thing you're about to do, if you're not happy about where you're headed to work or to school or who you're about to go meet, you're probably not going to be happy in this moment. Like the future that you have in front of you is what determines how you feel right now.
All right, I got to go or else I'm going to be late.
All right, dude, I love you.
I love you too.
Bye. It's incredibly normal when you stop and pause and assess how you feel about your own life and the state of it. It's incredibly normal for you to rank it low
because most of us walk around with a very negative viewpoint about our own lives. That's number one. And that's a mindset and a perspective that we are going to change. Number two, one of the things that has helped me a lot when I get into moments in my life where I get present to disappointment, where I feel very sad, where I start to beat myself up over where I'm at in my life versus where I thought I would be. Specifically, what comes to mind is when I was facing bankruptcy and I was 40 years old and we, had 3 kids, and I thought I should be in a different place in my life. And thinking and judging my current state against where I thought I would be, it made me sink even lower. And so what you're experiencing is very normal. The fastest way to stop beating yourself up, the fastest way to stop feeling regret over where you're at in your life right now, is to literally say to yourself, I did the best I could. I did the best I could. Because guess what? If you could have done more, you would have. And so if you literally just accept where you are, you're not feeling connected, you're not where you wanted to be, you're disappointed with how your life has turned out up until this moment, that's okay. But the first thing that you need to do to free yourself of that negativity is to say, hey, if I was capable of doing more, I would have. I remember there was a moment in time where, this is a really stupid example, but there was a moment in time where a lot of our friends started buying bigger houses or joining private clubs, or they were able to take their families on very expensive vacations. And that was just something that was not a possibility for me and Chris at the time. And I remember spending years beating myself up, years comparing myself to the people that had nicer clothes, nicer cars, nicer watches, nicer vacations. And it wasn't until I said to myself, well, if I could have afforded those things, I would have bought them, maybe. If I could have afforded to join the club, I might have. I couldn't afford to do it. And there's a massive amount of freedom that comes when you just stop beating yourself up and you acknowledge that if you could have changed it sooner, you would have. But here's what's cool. Once you say that, now you can change it now. And that's what this program's about. So cool to feel the sadness, okay and normal to feel the disappointment, and then say to yourself, hey, I am where I am. If I could have done more, I would have. And now it's time to move on, because guess what? You can do more. You've signed up for this program. You're taking your life and the things that you want to change about it very seriously. And the skills that we're going to teach you are going to help you. They're going to help you free yourself from the mental jail. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you spend the next year, which many of you were going to spend the next year telling yourself, my life sucks, I should have done something sooner, you are going to spiral in your own head as you beat yourself up over and over and over again. And that's got to stop. The reason why you haven't changed your life to date, you want to know why? It's because your mindset has blown. It's because you live up here. You don't live out in the world, you live up here. And up until this moment, up here has been a very negative place. And I guarantee you, if you were to put your own thoughts in someone else's mind, you know what you would say to me? Well, there's no way in hell Mary would lose that weight if she thought the things that I thought, because I'm constantly saying to myself, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not capable, I should have done it last year, why didn't I do this sooner? The more you think like that, the more stuck you're going to stay. And so that's why it's critical to acknowledge that the reason why you haven't changed sooner and the reason why your life is in the state that it's in is because of how you think. How you think is stopping you from taking action. You're convinced that you're not good enough. You're convinced that it's too late. You're convinced that other people are going to judge you. And I'm here to tell you it's total baloney. I cannot wait to bring on fitness coach Peter, who is losing his motivation over in Ireland. So let's see what he has to say right now.
Hello there, Mel, team, and the phenomenal community. I'll stay connected. My name is Peter, and I'm dialing in from the Republic of Ireland. And I've got this question based on today's live stream topic, positivity. I'm a fitness coach, and I feel like I've been inspiring, motivating, teaching how to deal with different obstacles, my clients, my family. But on most days, especially now, I am feeling I'm losing the ground under my own feet, and I'm struggling with finding that constant flow of positivity. So my question is, how can I find that balance within my own? So thanks very much for everything you do. Stay blessed, stay well. Thank you again.
All right. So there were a couple things about the question. First of all, Peter, thank you so much for sending your question all the way from Ireland. And you said a couple things that jumped out at you. You are losing the ground underneath you, and you are seeking advice about how to stay motivated consistently. So here's what I want to do. I want to put this in the language that you as a fitness coach will certainly appreciate, but you watching, this is for you too. You're training for this moment. And Peter in particular, somebody who has been motivating people, who has been training people to be physically fit. You have been training for this moment your entire life. And you got to view this moment like a test. And what is the test testing? It's testing who you are. That's part of the race right now, how you show up for it, right? It's not a matter of how you finish it. It's how you show up for it and what you do while you're running it, the kind of racer that you are. And look, I get it. This is a very difficult race that we're all running because we don't know where the finish line is. And it is very, very hard to stay motivated, which is the advice that you're seeking, Peter, when you don't even know when this damn thing is ending. This is the part of the race. I've run 4 marathons. Don't everybody gasp. I mean, it was nothing to brag about. I mean, I finished them, which is something to brag about, but it's not like I won the damn thing. But this is the point in time when you're running a race, when you said you're losing ground. What that means is you're starting to slow down. You feel your legs getting heavier. You feel your breath getting a little bit more shallow. You start to wonder, oh shit, why did I sign up for this thing in the first place? You start to wonder if you are going to make it. And so here's what I'm going to tell you, Peter. When you are coaching your clients and your clients start to lose ground, when you are coaching your clients and your clients don't feel motivated and they feel tired and they feel like giving up and they don't want to do another set of burpees, what do you tell them? You tell them to dig deeper. You tell them to find the strength within them to keep going. You see, what you need right now is you need to start building the motivation of your mind, because motivation doesn't exist in your body. It comes from up here. And what I hear is that you now have an opportunity. This is what the test is, Peter, to train harder because you are capable of so much more. This is handing you a moment where you get to become an even stronger and more capable version of yourself. Now, does that mean that you're going to be motivated all day long? Every single day that you wake up? No. But it means you've got to have the mental fitness right now to continue to get up, to show up, and to dig deeper when it comes to your mindset, when it comes to your attitude, when it comes to your just knowing that you are going to get through this. And so this moment, everybody, it's telling you who you are. It's telling you whether or not you're the kind of person that shows up to a challenge and you're pissed off, or you're sad, or you feel depressed, or you feel despair, or you feel all of these things that start to take you down the drain of negativity. And what I'm here to tell you is that you are built for this moment. You may not feel like it. You may feel sad. Those are all normal feelings. You may feel negative. It's very easy to do. You may start to feel a little bit of despair. That's going to come and go. But this is where the test of this race that we're currently running lies. When those feelings rise up and you start losing ground and you start feeling like you're not going to make it to the finish line and you start feeling unmotivated, can you dig deeper and remind yourself that you were built for this moment? Because one of the things that I know is that when the shit is hitting the fan, I guarantee you there are people in your life that are looking to you. There are people in your life, whether it's clients or colleagues or family members, that are looking to you right now. You know what that tells me? That you're the kind of person that people rely on. And now is the moment in time in the race that we're all running where you got to teach yourself to rely on yourself. How do you do that? How do you build the muscle of the mind? It's very simple. Very simple. I didn't say easy. I said simple. The steps are very simple. To win this race and to build strength in this muscle right up here, you got to focus on the shit you can control. And that is what you do with your body and what you do with your mind. And the one thing that has made a huge difference in me, because you can see that I am showing up as a very different Mel Robbins than I've been the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks, I have been losing the race. I've been going up and down. I've been doing my best to stay positive, but I am now back in the race. I have now found my ground and found my footing. And it comes in focusing on what you can control. And you know what you can control? There's only one thing. It's what are you doing to make this day the best day that you can do? What are you doing to master this day today? Fuck tomorrow. Forget about next week. Forget about what's happening this summer. This is a race that will be won by those of you who are the ability to focus on today and making today amazing. And so you know what I did today? Today, I did something I haven't done since the beginning of this quarantine. I got up an hour earlier than I normally do. Why? Well, because I noticed that throughout my day, I was feeling behind. Throughout my day, even though I was waking up, even though I have a morning routine, even though I was getting stuff done, I felt, even though I was doing all those things, somehow behind. And I realized that in order to master my day, in order to be fully in control of what I'm going to do today, I got to make sure that when my ass hits this chair at 9 a.m. and my workday starts, I have fully taken control of everything that puts my body and my mind first. And when I was honest with myself about why I was losing ground and why I wasn't feeling motivated and why I was starting to feel my own energy cycle down, it was because I was not taking the time in the morning to give myself the mental prep and training and the physical prep and training so that I could make this day, today, April 14th, with everything that I got. And so that's what you need to do. And that's what, Peter, you need to do too over there in Ireland. You need to remind yourself of who you are. You are a person who has been training for this moment your entire life. This is a race where you do not see the finish line, which means you have got to focus on today. You have got to focus on what you can control. And the only thing we can control is what our body is doing today and what we allow our minds to focus on. So the second your mind starts to go down that drain of, oh my God, what's going to happen? And this fall, and when's it going to end? And blah, 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 do. And you feel yourself losing motivation and losing ground. We are done mourning this situation. We are done feeling sad about this situation. How about we give ourselves a collective bitch slap? We dig a little bit deeper and we show up for this situation. What else are you going to do? Feel sorry for yourself, lick your wounds? It's so much better when you decide to dig deep and you decide to show up. That's what I'm going to do. Some days it's going to be harder than others, but that's the whole point of getting stronger. Reminding yourself that you are capable of so much more. And all of the emotions that you're feeling and all of the excuses that you're feeling, it's all normal, but it's a choice as to whether or not you listen to them. So, Peter, keep me posted on how you're doing. And for you watching this, I hope that this gives you the kick in the ass that you need to shake that negativity loose and to rise to this moment and start working on the things that you can control, your mind and your body. And in case nobody else tells you today, I'm going to tell you, I love you. I believe in you. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how sad you are. I don't care how overwhelmed you are. Get your shit together, because this is the new reality. And you can make today a better day by focusing on what you can control. And I'm going to be here every day, annoying, as positive as I can be, to push you to remember that. And if you're wondering, how the hell do I get on this and get this motivation from Mel and ask her a question and get the tough love that I need and seize the opportunity in this moment? Just text your question. See the phone number below? That is our texting community. Get yourself on it. Ask a question. When you text it, there will be something that comes back to you. You got to reply in order to opt in. Ask the question. That way my team can reach out to you. You could find yourself on a future video. How about that? All right. You go have a great day and dig a little deeper today. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed that video, by God, please subscribe, because I don't want you to miss a thing. Thank you so much for being here. We've got so much amazing stuff coming. Thank you so much for sending this stuff to your friends and your family. I love you. We create these videos for you, so make sure you subscribe. Mwah.